Hey guys, welcome back to MMA Library. Today in MMA and UFC news, at a recent press conference, Dana White spoke about Kevin Holland's early retirement. Here's the clip.
Going off that, Kevin Holland sort of suggested he's retired from MMA. I'm curious, have you spoken to him, and is that true, or what do you think he's feeling right now?
We talked about that too. Obviously, you know I'm really close to this kid, and I like him a lot. And I think when you are competing in a sport like this, and you've done the things that Kevin Holland has done, he gets out of the fight with Brunson and realizes that he needs to work on his wrestling more. So he dives in, starts working on his wrestling, and I think when what happened to him happens to you, I don't know. I think you lay in bed at night and go, holy, how did that happen to me? And he's an emotional guy. So I think his emotions got the best of him, and just take some time, get back in the gym, and whatever he wants to do, obviously, I love the kid. Whatever he wants to do, he can do, but I think retiring is it's a little too soon for him to retire.
Dustin Poirier recently said he wishes the Michael Chandler fight was a 5-rounder. Poirier said, "I really wanted to do a 5-round fight, especially for me. I like to get a rhythm and a timing, and I feel like the better fighter. Unless something happens in one of the first couple of rounds, the better fighter usually wins the distance. He's a former Bellator world champion. He's one of the best 155-pounders in the world, so he's a very, very tough opponent. If it's the fight of the year, it means it's back and forth. I'd like it to be clean and one-sided if I could paint the perfect picture, but I don't shy away from those firefights. I'm going to try my best to stay calm under fire and technique, but if he competes to the best of his ability, and I do the same, it could be the fight of the century. I feel like this is a huge fight in my career. First of all, I've never lost 2 fights in a row in my whole career. Since amateur, I've never lost 2 fights in a row. I want to prove to myself that I learn from my mistakes. I get back to the grind, pick myself back up. And not only to myself, I want to prove to my family, the fans, my daughter, that you can fall down and get back up and succeed. So this fight, for me personally, it's very important for me to get a victory over another former world champion and add his name to my resume and legacy." Conor McGregor recently trolled Michael Bisping's acting venture on Twitter. McGregor tweeted, "All these little twerps want to be actors now. Little twerps, there's only one Mac Daddy, bad to the bone with a good heart. Action like Jake Jill or rom-com with Sarah Jessica. Bisping, remember that show you were in? Yeah, me neither." When MMA Fighting reposted this, Michael Bisping replied with, "The insecurity is hilarious." Conor then followed this up with another post tweeting, "Stay out of my acting game. I'll smash your jaw in." Nate Diaz then got involved in the conversation, tweeting, "Why are you acting like you can still fight, actor?" Here's what Chael Sonnen had to say about Khamzat Chimaev calling out Colby Covington recently via Twitter.
Khamzat Chimaev has called out Colby Covington. Did this on Twitter. Just said, Colby Covington, you're next. And then there was like a skull and crossbones. But it was big. I didn't even see it when Chimaev saw it. I saw it when ESPN reposted it. Going on around our industry, it's a real thing. What do you guys think? I know you love the fight. I know that you want to see the fight. And we know that the UFC loves the fight. We know that because they already tried to make it. Dana had announced on Pat McAfee's show that whoever wins between Chimaev and Burns, which ended up being Chimaev, would draw into Colby Covington. That was the night, to put in perspective for you. They were out on Long Island, and Yair fought Ortega. That ended up being the main event when this Chimaev and Colby business didn't come around. I'm just wondering what you think. I know you like the fight. I'm wondering, do you think that we can get it? Now, I got a lot out of this. And Chimaev every few days will call somebody out. He kind of has to, because nobody ever accepts the fight with him. Nobody's ever trying to fight Chimaev. So once he throws out an idea to test who's got the balls around here or not, or to reveal somebody that doesn't, he's then got to move on to the next guy. But I don't know where Colby is. I don't know where Colby is mentally or physically. I just haven't heard from Colby. He's been very, very quiet. He has this thing, whatever that is, going on in the courts with Masvidal.
It's recently been announced that Nickal will get his UFC debut against Jamie Pickett at UFC 282. Here's what he had to say about his future goals in the UFC.
"I'm a guy that has good wrestling and good grappling." That might be a little understatement, but yeah, it would be an exciting fight for me. And obviously, he's a game opponent, so I'm not sitting here acting like I'll walk through that guy, but he's a guy that I see myself fighting at some point in the future.
Just a few more for you. I've heard you say that you have so much trust on the people that are around you. They know what they're doing, they're experienced. You're going to listen to them. They are going to advise you. You are not going to ask for something that they themselves would not want you to take. Do they want you fighting Khamzat Chimaev in your fourth professional fight?
I mean, probably not. I mean, if we're looking at it, I guess, objectively, like, no. But I know where I'm headed. I know I'm ready to go. So it don't matter who you put in front of me. At the end of the day, I'm going to take him out. And I leave who I get to fight up to my management team, up to first-round management, Malky Kawa, Abe Kawa. Those guys take care of me. So I don't ever worry about that. They give me a name and I take them out.
I'll leave you with this, man. You want to be the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Give me a date on when that happens.
Let's call it July 24.
Of next year?
Well, 2024.
Oh, 2024. Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you were going to mean July 24th.
Of 2024. Okay. I mean, I want to be realistic with it. And I think at the end of the day, for me, I see myself making my UFC debut by the end of the year, getting 4 fights next year. At that point, I'll be 7-0, 8-0, and then by the middle of 2024, somewhere 11, 12-0, all finishes, and undisputed pound-for-pound #1.
AJ McKee recently said in an interview that he'd love Nate Diaz and Eddie Alvarez to join Bellator and potentially face off against either of them in the future. Here's the clip.
Another thing I wanted to ask you, Nate Diaz, a free agent. Scott Coker said when his exclusive negotiation period ends, he's going to talk to him. I know you guys have that little issue. Are you hoping Bellator gets this done?
Run it up. Like I said, I don't turn down no fades, man. I'm in this for the long haul, so I think that'd be a good fight. You know what I mean? I think it'll be my first real huge fight into stardom, and yeah, man, ain't no hard feelings. But he could get Long Beach slapped. I can get Stockton slapped. Let's see who slapped harder.
What do you think? Do you think Bellator could get that done, or do you think he's going to be doing other things like boxing Jake Paul and stuff like that? Is it realistic?
I think he's going to probably be boxing. Yeah, I think he'd probably be boxing. It's more ideal. You know what I mean? He's been through a lot, man. I've been watching him since I was a kid. He's a great performer, great fighter. So, yeah, man, he's just doing his thing. You know what I mean?
An interesting one too is Eddie Alvarez, a free agent. I know he said he'd be open to coming back here. It'd be interesting. Like I consider him like one of the first faces of Bellator. He fought on Bellator 1, and like you were the guy. Yeah, like to have him back and maybe in that Grand Prix, like that would be interesting as well, right?
Sean O'Malley recently said that Conor McGregor is the GOAT of MMA.
I've been watching him part 1, part 2, and the McGregor stuff. It's sick. Just the Notorious part 1, Notorious part 2.
It's not his documentary. It's just something that the UFC put together.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
It was from Fight Pass, but it's on YouTube now.
Damn.
I'm on number 4. I'm gonna watch it before.
Is it pretty sweet?
It's good. It's crazy to look back on him. It's like when he first got in the UFC, when he first fought Dustin Poirier. It shows you like that's why that is so big. Just his character at the beginning was so fun and entertaining and just
captivating.
He's the GOAT. Maybe not a GOAT. When it comes to skill set, it's hard to say who's the GOAT. Like, who's the best? It's hard to say. When it comes to who's the GOAT, who really blew up the sport, who took it to the next level, who was the most entertaining, who captivated the most people, Conor is the GOAT.
Yeah. I would have a hard time arguing against
and not
that.
even anyone really that close.
No.
I'm coming for it. I'm trying. I think Patty's doing a good job at it. You know, and I still got years to do it. And Conor's probably getting closer to being done than anything. And so it's fun. It's a fun little game to play.
Guys, thanks so much for checking out the video. If you like the content we do here on this channel, don't forget to like and subscribe to MMA Library for all the latest MMA and UFC news. We'll see you in the next video.